Welcome back, everyone. If you're counting on Social Security, disability payments, SSI, or VA benefits to make it through each month, you need to hear what I'm about to tell you. Something major is happening this Monday that's going to touch the lives of millions of people across this country. An executive order has been put into place, and it's going to change the way benefit payments are handled. Now, here's the thing. Some folks might run into delays with their money, while others could actually see things get better. I know that sounds confusing, doesn't it? That's exactly why I spent a full days going through every page of this free 7-page report, so you wouldn't have to do it yourself. I'm going to walk you through exactly what this means for you, and I promise to explain it in a way that makes sense. Have you ever stayed up late at night, checking your bank account over and over, hoping your payment finally showed up? Have you ever had to choose between filling a prescription and buying groceries? These situations are exactly why this matters so much. If this information is helpful to you, go ahead and subscribe to the channel right now. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any updates about your benefits. This is important, and I'll be keeping you informed every step of the way. Let me start by telling you a bit about why I do this. I've been covering benefit changes and financial assistance programs for more than 6 years now. This work became personal for me when my own family hit a rough patch. Every single day, I read your comments. I see messages from single mothers trying to stretch every dollar. I hear from veterans who've been waiting months just to get an answer about their disability claims. I talk to seniors who are making impossible choices about their basic needs. This isn't just about policy or paperwork to me. These are real people with real lives and real problems. That's exactly how I'm going to explain everything today, keeping it real and straightforward. So what is this executive order actually trying to do? According to the official statement, and I'm pulling this straight from the document itself, the goal is to modernize benefit delivery systems to reduce processing delays and improve accuracy of payments for vulnerable Americans. Now, that sounds pretty good on the surface, right? What they're basically saying is that the system we have right now is old, slow, and needs fixing. Anyone who's ever waited 3 months for a disability decision or had a payment show up late for no clear reason knows they're not wrong about that. The administration is calling this whole thing the Benefits Modernization Initiative, and it's going to touch from major programs. We're talking about Social Security, retirement, and survivor benefits, Social Security disability insurance, which people call SSDI, supplemental security income known as SSI, and Veterans Affairs disability compensation. What problems did they identify that need fixing? Well, they pointed to outdated computer systems that sometimes crash, inconsistent processing times depending on which regional office handles your case, and what they're calling verification bottlenecks. That last one basically means there's too much paperwork slowing everything down. Let me give you the actual numbers here, because this affects way more people than you might realize. We're looking at approximately 67 million Americans who receive Social Security benefits, 9 million people getting SSDI, 4 million receiving SSI, and about 5 million veterans with service-connected disability ratings. Think about that for a second. If you're a senior collecting Social Security retirement, this is going to affect you. If you're disabled and receiving SSDI or SSI, this is going to affect you. If you're a veteran with a disability rating, this is going to affect you. If you're a widow or widower getting survivor benefits, this is going to affect you. But let me tell you who's going to feel this the most while all these changes are happening. It's the people who are right in the middle of applications or appeals. If you filed for disability sometime in the last 6 months and you're still sitting there waiting for someone to make a decision, you really need to pay close attention to what I'm saying. If you're a veteran who just filed to get an increase in your disability rating, this is going to have an impact on how long you wait. And I want to talk directly to the moms out there for a minute. I know so many of you are managing benefits for disabled children, or you're single parents receiving survivor benefits. You're going to want to stay extra alert about your payments over the next few months. Keep a close eye on everything. Now let's get into the details, because this is where things get a bit complicated. The executive order has 3 main phases, and they're going to roll them out between now and next fall. Phase 1 starts this Monday, and I'm not going to lie to you. This is the part that might cause some short-term problems. They're updating the computer systems that process payments. The official statement says that routine payments should not be affected, but they're also warning that complex cases may experience processing delays up to 2 weeks during the transition period. What does all that mean for you in practical terms? If you get the same Social Security or VA payment every single month, and nothing has changed in your personal situation, you should probably be fine. Your money should keep coming just like always. But if you recently moved to a new address, got married, started working part-time, or had any other change in your circumstances, your payment might get delayed while they work out the problems in the new system. Phase 2 is coming in November. This is when they're supposed to launch something they're calling Unified Benefit Verification. Instead of having to submit the same documents to 3 different offices, you'll be able to upload everything to one central portal. Now, that actually sounds like it could be helpful once it's working properly, but it also means another system change, and that could potentially mean more delays while everyone adjusts. Phase 3 is scheduled for March 2026, and this is the part that could actually turn out to be good news. They're promising faster disability determinations with a goal of reducing average processing times from 8 months down to 5 months for initial SSDI applications. That would be a real improvement if they can pull it off. Let me give you some reasons to be cautiously optimistic about all this, because it's not all delays and headaches. There are some improvements they're promising, and some of these could genuinely make your life easier. First, they're creating a single phone number for all benefit questions. Right now, you might have to call 3 different numbers and explain your whole situation 3 different times to 3 different people. The new system is supposed to let one representative access all your information and help you with multiple programs all at once. Second, and this is really huge for people with disabilities, they're streamlining the medical review process. Instead of having to get new medical records every single time you have a continuing disability review, they're going to share information between Social Security and VA medical systems. If you're a veteran with a service-connected disability who also gets SSDI, this could save you months of dealing with paperwork. Third, they're expanding online services. Eventually, you'll be able to upload documents, check your application status, and even schedule phone appointments online instead of waiting on hold for 2 hours listening to terrible music. And here's something that could really help a lot of you. They're planning to send text message notifications about payment dates, application updates, and required actions. No more wondering if your mail got lost somewhere or if you missed an important deadline because you never got the letter. Now, I have to be completely honest with you about what worries me, because I've covered enough government program changes over the years to know that good intentions don't always equal smooth implementation. Every single time they update these systems, some people fall through the cracks. Payments get lost in the transition, applications disappear from databases, and it takes weeks to sort out the mess. The people who suffer most are always the ones who can least afford it. We're talking about people living paycheck to paycheck who can afford to have their benefits delayed even 1 week. I'm also concerned about the timeline they've set. They're trying to overhaul systems that serve 90 million Americans in less than a year. That's incredibly ambitious. And when government agencies rush these kinds of changes, mistakes happen. The executive order mentions contingency plans for vulnerable populations, but it doesn't spell out what those plans actually are. What happens if a veteran's disability payment doesn't come through because of a system glitch? What happens if an elderly person's Social Security gets held up and they can't pay for their medication? These are real questions that don't have clear answers yet. Here's your action plan, and I want you to do these things this weekend before the changes start on Monday. First, log into your My Social Security account, your VA account, or whatever benefit portal you use, and take screenshots of everything. I mean everything. Your payment history, your current benefit amount, your contact information, your bank account details. Screenshot all of it and save those images somewhere safe. If something goes wrong, you'll have proof of what your benefits should be. Second, make sure your contact information is updated everywhere. If they need to reach you about a problem, you want to make sure they can actually find you. Check your phone number, your email address, your mailing address, all of it. Third, if you have direct deposit, double check that your bank account information is correct in all your benefit accounts. A lot of payment delays happen simply because of outdated banking information. Maybe you switched banks last year and forgot to update it. Now's the time to make sure everything matches. Fourth, if you're currently in the middle of an application or appeal, call and get a status update this week. Find out exactly where you are in the process and when you should expect to hear something. Get reference numbers for everything and write it all down. Don't trust your memory on this stuff. Keep good records. And fifth, start building a small emergency fund if you possibly can. Even if it's just $20 a week, I know that sounds impossible when you're already struggling to make ends meet, but even $100 sitting in a savings account can make the difference between keeping your lights on and sitting in the dark. If a payment gets delayed, try to put something aside if you can manage it. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat this situation. The next few months are probably going to be bumpy. When you're dealing with systems that affect this many people, there are always going to be problems during transitions. That's just reality. But I also want you to remember something important. These programs exist because people fought for them. Social Security, disability benefits, veterans benefits. These aren't handouts that someone's doing you a favor by giving you. You've earned them through your work, your service, or your circumstances, and you have a right to receive them reliably and with dignity. The changes they're making should eventually lead to faster processing, fewer delays, and less bureaucratic runaround. If they actually deliver on these promises, applying for benefits in 2026 could be a completely different experience than it is today. Will there be problems along the way? Absolutely, there will be. But the current system is already broken for too many people, so doing nothing wasn't really an option either. Here's what I want you to remember as we go through all this. You're not alone. Whether you're a veteran waiting for a rating decision, a single mom applying for disability, or a senior trying to understand your Medicare options, there are people who care about what happens to you. Keep checking your accounts regularly. Keep documenting everything that happens. And don't be afraid to advocate for yourself if something goes wrong. Call your representatives if you need to. Reach out to veteran service organizations. Contact legal aid if it becomes necessary. You have rights, and you deserve to have them respected. Don't let anyone make you feel like you're asking for too much when you're just asking for what you're entitled to receive. I'm going to be following this story closely over the next few months. I'll break down every update, every delay, and every improvement as they happen. You won't have to dig through complicated government documents or try to figure out legal language. I'll do that work and explain it to you in plain English. If you want to stay informed about changes that affect your benefits, make sure you're subscribed to this channel and hit that notification bell. Take care of yourselves out there. Take care of each other. We'll get through this together.